Good morning. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, and we're going to have a nice little conversation discussion. We're going to open it up to anyone who would like to call in today and anyone who has any questions. I know it's a little early, but it's just one of those days. We try to start at 9. We've been trying to start at 9. A couple days we've had to start a little bit later. And sometimes, you're just not that spring chicken. You just don't leap out of the bed as fast as you can. So, um, thank you for coming. Hope you guys got something to drink. I'm not drinking coffee today because coffee is just a little too hot. It's hot, and you get up at a certain time and you drink something hot, and it just is in your belly. It just keeps you hot all day. So shout out to everybody who can have something to drink. If you're having coffee, all right, cold coffee, iced coffee, even if hot coffee. But I have to let my coffee sit there for a little while before I can take a drink. Maybe before the show's over, I might get a glass. But thanks again for coming. We're gonna drop the link in the chat. Maybe a couple of good guys would like to jump in. Good morning to everyone in the chat. We are going to be discussing the 49ers. And with that, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about. We're only 3 days away from training camp. 3 days. So that's Ray McLeod days. And that'd be really awesome. Really awesome. See that guy have a good year this year. One thing that's funny about this guy, though, is he started singing. So if you get an opportunity, check his music out. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or where exactly it's at, but I seen a clip from one of our friends, Platform 246, and I'm not going to be listening to Ray's music. I'm just going to be rooting for the guy on the field, and that's it. Sometimes you got to stick to what you're good at, and that's about it, right? You can't jump into everything, and if you're having fun, well, that's one thing, and it definitely looked like he was having fun in the music video. But let's get into some of this conversation, right? We're talking about 49ers, and you look at what's been recently going on in the news. Everybody's excited about training camp. Everybody's excited about the quarterback competition, and the new rookies coming in. We do have a new rookie kicker. He's coming in. He will be battling against a veteran kicker, and we'll see about that. So my thoughts with the rookie kicker is now we have him. We got to kind of roll with him. And now there's noise of a kicker coming out. See, it's stuck in my head, kicker, quarterback. Now it's noise of a kicker saying, "Oh, I wanted to be there. I want to come back." Well, yeah, everybody wants to come back to a good team, but sometimes you just have to move on. Well, let's bring in Ryan down here. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, Ryan. All right. So there's a little audio problem.
What is
But
up?
all right, now we can hear you. Sounds good. It's a good Saturday morning. I figured we'd talk a little bit about Robbie
Oh,
Gold's feelings.
looks like I still am.
There's a little bit of a lag on your end. I'm not sure what's going on. So, so I'm looking at the kickers, and I've been doing a lot of in-depth research because I like the kickers, and I want to just know a little bit more and more about them. And I have a pretty good idea of the history of the Niners kickers, and it looks to me like they keep kickers for about 10 years before they move off of a kicker. They get comfortable with somebody and they move. They just go run with them. So going back to Robbie Gold, he was on our team for several years, and it just got to a point where it's time to move on. And we'll see if Jake Moody can be that guy. It seems like the Niners keep a kicker for a year, or they keep him for several years. It doesn't seem like there's it's either you're that guy or you're moving off.
Yep.
And we got people like Todd Peterson. We have people like Gary Anderson, very good kicker, very good kicker. And then there's people like Jeff Chandler who just They just aren't what we need. And then we even have people like Doug Bryan, who's a Super Bowl winning kicker. Just because you win the Super Bowl for the Niners doesn't mean that you're their guy. So you have to fit in. I think you have to fit into the locker room, and I think you also have to just do your job. That's the most important thing, is to do your job and be consistent. If you miss a kick, it can't be one of those kicks that we have to have. No, you shouldn't ever miss, but it happens. So if we're winning a game and you go out there and miss, nobody's going to talk about that too much. They will rip you. But if you go out and miss a kick that we needed you to win, like in overtime or something, you might not be on the team come soon. Jose Cortez. So now it's been said, but even shout out to Jose Cortez. He was on our team multiple times because he's got the athleticism. He's got the leg. He has the ability to, be a kicker. Jose Cortez has been on like 8 different football teams or 10 different football teams. 14, if I counted correctly at one time. I think it's 14. I'm going to do that look over again. But
bro, why didn't you use him in Connect 4?
It's one of those, right? Like the guys everywhere. But it's one of those things. It's like a kicker or a quarterback. We'll pivot just for a second. There's some quarterbacks that are going to always be professional backups. They're always going to be professional backups. Why are they a backup? Because they have what it takes to be able to memorize the playbook, go out there and, perform. Where the same thing kind of with a kicker, once they know what they got to do it. And yeah, a kicker doesn't do what a quarterback does, but there are going to be people out there that are always going to be, just ready to go. They can just be locked in and plug and play. And I don't know, that's kind of my thoughts. So with like Robbie Gould saying he wanted to come back, well, you didn't want to come back that bad because you would have taken a team friendly deal. So I thought at the end, like it's about winning Super Bowl. That's what I thought.
I don't think it was about the money. I think it was about the availability. Hold on real quick. So he got injured like once every year, and he would be out for a game. And we would have some other guy come in. We'd have to figure out some guy. It was either 1 or 2 games he'd be out. Have to figure out another guy to come in. It cost us a game 2 years ago, I believe, if I remember correctly. The kicker came in, was trash. Also, there was the time where where Mitch Wisnowski had to be the place kicker. So to me, I think it was the injury. Because the money, I think, look, me and you probably feel the same way on this. If we're going to get a consistent, reliable kicker, we're willing to pay the $5-6 million. You know what I mean? If it's going to come down to winning a game, we're okay forking off the extra couple million. If there's consistency, you know what I mean? There. And he's consistent as far as the kicks, but he's not consistent as far as showing up to every game. There's always going to be an injury. Whether it's, from getting hit or just from kicking and, hamstring, groin, something like that. It's always going to be something with him. There's going to be 1 game a year or something that he's not going to be able to do. Or it might be the second half of a game. It might be he got a little hurt on that opening kickoff or something like that. Now, we can't depend on him. And so now we can't kick the football. You know what I mean? We need to punch it in.
Yeah. I don't think the Niners worried about, necessarily how much it was going to cost.
Yeah.
But I do believe that they looked at it and said, well, if we don't have to pay this much money, we will use that money in a different place. And if you're not willing to.
But that's after they decided that,
what has been stated is I had my agent talk to him. They never offered us a deal.
Right.
So what did your agent ask for? If you asked for too much and they looked at it and said, and pushed the paper back to you and was like, all right. And that's kind of what it sounds like, is the Niners had already made up that decision, whether or not it was because of an injury or price. But at this point, I agree. There's definitely been like a couple of games where he's either tweaked or twisted or, pulled something, and then we're not using him to the full ability. I don't have a problem with a punter kicking off, but the punter is not supposed to be kicking field goals. And the field goal kicker is not supposed to be punting. So if that happens, there was definitely an injury or something. But again, Robbie Gold right now is now saying that they didn't offer me anything, but your agent went to the Niners and asked for something, right? You didn't just say, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And they're like,
Well,
"Oh, hey," walk away from you. They
I don't
said, they said, "Okay, what's going on?" And the agent said, "This is what Robbie would like," and they just
I don't think Robbie's asking price turned them off, because the
correct.
49ers are always willing to throw back another offer that is in their interest. You know what I mean? And from there you can make a deal. So I think it was just, yeah, you got no response back because they had already made the decision. It was like when you're talking about 49ers would love to spend that money somewhere else. Yes, they would, but they didn't come to that conclusion until after they decided they were done with Robbie and they wanted to move on to specifically Jake Moody, right? Can we also put that in there that we feel that they specifically wanted Jake Moody, nobody else in this draft. And essentially, I feel that they saw Jake Moody, was like, that's our guy. Robbie, we love you. We appreciate you. But this is our chance to get our next Robbie Gould for, if if stinking Tom Brady could play till he's 50, I'm sure Jake Moody could play till he's 40. And you're talking about, you might be able to get a guy who could be on your team for almost 2 decades. You know what I'm saying? When you
Yeah,
if he's reliable, like, that would be a godsend. So to me, it sucks that it went like this, but Robbie, like, you did all them years of complaining about the hotel, and then now all of a sudden the hotel doesn't matter. It was just you didn't get an offer. Like, what, bro? You was in the hotel. Remember, it was horrible. It was horrible, bro.
let me bring Corey in real quick. Thanks for Corey. Thanks for coming. Thanks for waiting.
Hello.
What up, Cobray?
Hey.
Oh boy, though, I got a feeling though that just seems it's like a little sour grapes. At least that's the way I'm taking it. It's like, hey, now we have this new kicker. You supposedly, same agent, worked out with him a little bit, know him, give him some tips, and now all of a sudden they didn't even offer me a contract. Is it because you're still not signed? What's going on here? And it's just one of those things. It's like, if he was signed, would he be saying this? When the season ended, he come out and was like, we got unfinished business. It sounded like the Niners were willing to take him back on. That's why I was very confident in saying the Niners were going to bring him back.
I think that was him saying he was willing to stay in the hotel. That, to me, that's what it was saying. Hey, I'm willing to stay in the hotel again. Let's run it back, guys. I'm willing to stay in the hotel again. And the 49ers are like, bro, we'd love for you to stay in the hotel again. But you know what I mean? There's some times you can't show up to practice or to games, bro, because of injury. And it's no fault of his. There might be things where, who knows, behind the scenes, there might be times where they feel he can kick and he tells them that he can't. And that might have been a thing. You remember how all of a sudden Jimmy Garoppolo was gone and they traded for Trey Lance. Traded up for Trey Lance. Kyle makes these decisions. If he feels that you're holding back from him and you're in a key position like that, if he feels you're holding back, he's going to get somebody else because he wants somebody with no hesitation, somebody who's willing to lose their leg to go out there and play. You know what I mean? Which I understand. I understand both sides of it. Go ahead, Cor.
And maybe the Niners felt, this was the best time to move on for Robbie Gould.
Yeah,
we got a kicker in Moody and don't come out this season, so this is gonna be the best time right now. Maybe next season there ain't gonna be no kicker out there, but season after that might not be nobody. So they probably felt like this is the best time. Let's do it now. Let's cut that. Let's cut that cord right now, and let's do it now. This is the best time.
And if Moody turns out to be the guy who we think he is and who they think he is, it will have been the best decision. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good decision. It's either you go with like a rookie quarterback, right? Or you go with a rookie kicker. I don't know if you want to go with them at the same time because
Yeah,
somebody has to get
yeah.
points, right? We got to rely on somebody. It's one of those things too. It's like you go with a rookie offensive line, your rookie quarterback can get really destroyed, right? But you want your quarterback to grow with the offensive line as well, right? So sometimes they put a veteran center out there, but again, the veteran center is going to retire here soon. And then just as soon as the quarterback comes of age, now he's got to worry about someone else snapping the ball to him. So you have to go through your growing pains. And it's just, wow, again, Robbie Gould coming out and saying what he's saying now. There are reports that he might be looking at the Lions. So that could be really interesting. Him going into Detroit and kicking under a dome. He'd still be able to play against the Packers. We know like how he likes doing that. And it's just, wow, that's a little bit closer to Chicago for him and his family, and I think it could work out. But my gut feeling says he's going to Dallas. So what's your guys' thoughts? Where would you like to see Robbie?
I'd like to see Robbie in Detroit. I think Robbie would be good in Detroit. I think for the mentality of that team, it's almost like the mentality of the 49ers, where it's like, we're going to hit you in the face. We're going to hit you in the face. We're going to hit you in the face. And I think Robbie to me, Robbie's like a sniper. He's looking for that kill shot. You know what I mean? He's not going to be on the front line, directing the troops. He's going to just make those accurate kicks to put people away. So you got a whole team full of infantry, just smack him in the face. And then you got the sniper sitting back. Yeah, I think he'll be great. Plus, he's got a high level of professionality like he's very professional. And I think that's something that they need in their special teams. He'll help turn up the notch on them. It'll be like, why aren't we doing this? This does this, this, and this. And that's how you get better. You know what I'm saying?
Being able to kick in a dome when you're a little older and not having to worry about the wind and stuff like that. Yeah, you might not get the benefit of the wind help pushing the ball for you a little bit, but you'll have a little bit more control. So, if he can only kick it from like the 40,
he was
be
really good with his control. Like even on was that the kick against the Packers in the championship, right? Like that one was out like 5 or 10 yards. I think it was a 50-yarder, right? So that was like 10 yards past his money line, right? And that thing was straight down the middle of the. So you're talking about you're in uncharted waters there with that length of kick, but yet he's still knocking it down the middle. So to me, I don't think the accuracy is really going to bother him. He might like the wind at sometimes, but to not have to worry about it either or way, I think is probably better for him. He can just zone in.
Yeah. Again, being in a dome, it's controlled, so there's not going to be a wind. He's good with his control, his accuracy. He's very, straight leg, we'll say it like that. But, again, you won't have that lift of the wind, but you won't have it having to go either way either. So instead of it helping the ball sail, he will be kicking with his leg. So if his leg is a little weaker and it's not the same, or is getting older or tired, you would say, we'll see him be kicking closer up more and more, but he's still going to be money. So I think if Detroit does sign him, I think that would be a good, really, really good spot for him. And it would be kind of funny because he'll be, again, playing against the Packers all the time. And we know how he likes to play against the Packers. So, yeah. Corey, what's your thoughts?
Chicago person should. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know a couple Chicago Bear fans, and I even have a couple family members that were Chicago Bear fans or still are, or they got to still be. And I don't know. I mean, there's the Bears, the Raiders, and the Eagles. They're not horrible people, but their fans are definitely something to, you'll know one after you meet one.
And shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome, keeping it live in there. We got more people showed up. Terror Dome. We got Tommy Huxley. Damian Lee popped in. Shout out to everyone.
Yeah, we're just having fun. You guys always are great. Appreciate coming.
As always. What up, Carcass?
All right, so I've been throwing it out there,
Oh.
and I know Damien doesn't like it, but
I mean,
what? Go ahead, Corey.
I think he should go to Detroit, but I think he might want to go to Dallas and get revenge against us. What if his field goal kick is the winning game to beat us? And he can say, "See, I told y'all should have signed me. Now I got you back." Not to say it.
No.
Nah, Detroit should be the place he should go.
Yeah, I think if he went to Detroit, that would be a pretty good spot for him. You know, again, close to his family. You know, he's
Yeah.
not going to really be worried about snow too much, unless he goes outdoors. Then there's only a handful of those games.
Which coach would you rather play for?
What do you mean, like in the top 10 coaches, or
No, like between Dallas and the Lions. You got what's his name? What's his name?
It's not the guy with the bald head anymore, is it?
You got the bite your kneecaps dude in the Lions. I can't remember his name. It's like he's got like a Mick. It's almost like a McNiner, but it's I think. But then you got what's his name in Dallas? To me, I would rather go.
Yeah.
I'd rather go to Detroit because I'd rather play with a coach that would try and run through a wall over and over again than a coach that thinks he's smarter than he is. I mean, I'd much Dan Campbell. That's right, Dan Campbell. McCarthy.
Campbell,
Yep. Thank you, Bebop. Yeah, I'd much rather play for Dan Campbell. And Mike McCarthy, I don't think he's all he's wrapped up to be. I really think he's overrated. I'm not saying that he's trash. I just think he's not as good as everybody makes him out to be.
Who? You talking to Detroit? Campbell?
David?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? I honestly think he's a pretty good head coach, but he's in a trash organization.
Yeah.
You know,
he's doing wonders over there.
Yeah.
He's doing wonders. I think he's.
Hey,
I think
camera picks up the grow back.
Oh, and I just noticed Bryant's clean shaven too. He doesn't have a goatee like BC O'Brien did.
That's a lot of fun. But yeah, shout out to the chat. Good morning, Deanna. She's a great lady. We're gonna have her on the channel here soon.
Oh, what up, Deanna?
Deanna?
That's your
my wife's
family.
aunt.
That's yep. Thought so. I remember she came on that one time.
Man, yeah, her cousin, and really, really cool. Really, really cool. So I would say Dan Campbell too. But if Dan Campbell was in Dallas, I would think that would be a better situation for Dan Campbell. You know,
dude,
I think
imagine if Dan Campbell was in Dallas. Do you think they'd win a Super Bowl?
Oh wow.
Think about that Cowboys team bought into Dan Campbell's system. You know,
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. You know, McCarthy, he's been around a long time. He's won one Super Bowl. He had a good team for a very long time, but only got it done once. Dan Campbell hasn't had a good team to actually, you know, coach yet. So we'll see what Detroit turns into this next year. You know, a lot of people are anointing them, but you know that I'm not saying that. You know, got to see him play first.
He's built Detroit from nothing, and McCarthy inherited. You know what I mean? Not to say that it's his full team that he has now, but he had a great team when he came in. You know what I mean? He had movers and shakers on both sides of the ball. So to me, everything Dan Campbell's done is way more impressive. Oh, we got Ted in the house, and we got a Wolf sighting. What up, Wolf?
What's up, Wolf and Ted? Wolf. Oh.
We got to get Wolf back on. I hope you're having a good morning, buddy. I
Wolf
just think it's
might
like
be able to monetize his channel now after they changed the requirements.
Yeah, get him streaming at least maybe once or so a week or even a
So
month.
you know,
Yeah, he'll
Wolf,
still.
I sent you a tweet. I sent you a DM. What up? Oh, Tommy throwing shade. Tommy throwing shade.
Tommy having fun. All right, so
Tommy
yeah, I think
throwing
like Dallas,
shade.
they have almost always had a decent team. You know, their owner pays for players. He definitely goes out and says we're going to put at least good players on the team. They're always going to be like a what would you say 500 team. Now maybe 8-9 team, 9-8 team. That's what they've been the last couple of years. But still, with the right head coach, you would think that would help push him over the top. Somebody like Jim Harbaugh goes to Dallas. You imagine that could get ugly. The Cowboys could be really dominant. So it's scary. The right pieces
Well,
and the right.
they have a good team. I actually saw a ranking, and I don't remember what site that most talented rosters in the league, and the Cowboys were above us. I was like, what? I was looking at that
Yes.
like, how's that? We've sent them home 2 years in a row. How's that?
So I think it's all because of like they do have great seasons. You know what I mean? They put up great yards throughout the year, and then they just are trash at the end. That's why I think it comes down to coaching. It's Mike McCarthy. I do think that Jerry Jones gets in the middle of too much shit in the team, but as far as drafting players, he does. They do a pretty good job. I'm not gonna. They do a great job when it comes to drafted people. Now, when they act like putting a team together, though, sometimes I think they're too interested in bells and whistles and not the nuts and bolts. You know what I mean? Like they're worried about the flashy players, this and that, but not the consistent players. Like Diggs, look at Diggs. Gets all these interceptions, right? That's nice and flashy. But he gives up hella yards because he can't cover for shit. So that's the nuts and bolts. They're worried about the flashiness. They're like a better version of the Raiders, kind of to me, when it comes to their front office. They're looking for all that flashiness, but they're looking for it under a more intense microscope, essentially. So they got more boxes to check instead of like the 40 time. You know what I mean? So that's I just don't think they're built to last. And I think the 49ers, they looked for guys who were going to be consistent, tough as nails. And what they did is they taught them how to be better and how to fit the system and how to be this system. And that's why I think it computes better, because you're getting sturdy rock hard who expect to do anything, and you tell them you believe in them and you put them out there and they just want to go succeed and do good. You gave them a chance. You know what I mean? So to me, I think the 49ers the philosophy when it comes to building a team is better, and we've gotten better what do you call it, production out of it,
I think the problem with Dallas is, like you said, they're probably just a little bit better of an organization than the Raiders. Where you look at the Raiders when Al Davis was alive, he used to take the newspaper and open it up, or the scouting report, and go down. Whoever had the fastest 40 time, he was drafted by the Raiders that year. First, he's going first. I would be. I'm actually interested. I want to go look up Sebastian Janikowski's 40 time and see what it looked like back in 2000s, because them taking a kicker that early, that's definitely funny. But you look at the Cowboys again. Who have they had to play against? There's been some handful of years where the Commanders, have they got lucky in since the 80s? No, but the Giants have. The Giants seem to get lucky every time they play us in the playoffs. If they play us in the playoffs, they're like going to the Super Bowl. You can't say that really, with the Cowboys. They haven't really had that success. But the Eagles have been dominant there for a while. And, again, changing the guards, they changed their coach and they win some Super Bowls. But before that, they were right there. They were right there going to the championship game. They even went to the Super Bowl and they lost. But it's again, it's one of those things. It's like you see if Dallas had a different coach, I think they would be really, really scary. And, going back to the Robbie Gould thing, if he does go somewhere like Dallas, that's going to be scary because he will be making playoff kicks. He's not going to be missing. But if he goes to Detroit, David, would you rather see Robbie in Detroit or Dallas?
Detroit. Because watching the Dallas kicker miss all those kicks, that was just that was enjoyable, But yeah, I'd rather see him go to Detroit just because it is closer to his hometown. For him personally, it's better. And the Cowboys, I mean, their cap situation, I don't know if they can afford more than the kicker they got. That's another thing. You're gonna have to pay Robbie Gould at least a couple million.
Yep.
There's
Shout
Lawrence Wolf. I mean, look at this chat, right?
Got a lot of good guys. If you guys don't know about your boy Niner Faithful, he's got a channel as well. Faithful Podcast, I believe it is. Please put it down, Jason, if you can. And Jason Niner Smash Macy, they both team up. They got a great channel. So check them out if you guys can. And if you're not subscribed, they got a lot of good stuff going on. And yeah, like you said, we got Tommy Huxley, he's keeping it alive. Nathan Z, got Ted, everybody's here. Appreciate it, guys. So if you guys, I think if he goes to Detroit, he definitely is going to make Detroit. I'm going to say it. He'll help Detroit get to the playoffs. Robbie Gould can be that guy for him. Niner Faithful Radio. Thank you. So if you guys haven't checked out this channel, I believe they go live every Tuesday, or I want to say around 4:00. They're a pretty cool channel. So, and if I'm wrong on Tuesdays, just let us know. But they're on Facebook and they're on YouTube. You got a lot of good stuff going on. All right. So I was looking at it before everybody jumped in, and I had thrown it out there. Like the idea with Robbie Gould is, it seems like the Niners mentality is they keep kickers for either 10 years. Yep. Boom, you got a new one. See, thank you for coming. We try to support each other. We support people, and they support us back. We appreciate it. And then this guy up here in the corner, if you don't know about Ryan No Border Sports, he's got a great channel as well.
Make sure to go check out Niner Faithful Radio. Let's get them to 200 subscribers.
Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff going on. They've been on YouTube for a while, too, so they're doing fun stuff. But what I was saying, David, is it seems like the Niners keep kickers for about 10 years on average, or they keep them for 1 year. It's either you're our guy or you're not our guy. There's a door. Don't let it hit you in the rear. So, we look at people like Tommy Davis. He was on the team from 1959 to 1969.
Tommy Huxley?
The GOAT. No, I'm sorry. Tommy Huxley is the camel with 2 humps. But Tommy Davis, he was a longtime 49er kicker back in the 50s and 60s. And we kept him for a long time. And same thing. It's like we either keep you for a good amount of time or we let you go, like Doug Bryan, Jeff Wilkins, Gary Anderson, Jose Cortez, Jeff Chandler. But with Robbie Gould, his experience, even when we had like somebody like Phil Dawson or Dave Akers, they were really good kickers, but we didn't keep them for a very long time. Robbie Gould's been our team since 2017. And now it's just time to move off. And I like what everybody said too, is you trade or you let a player go like a year early before, it's the end of their career and we're suffering the backlash or whatnot. So if we've seen the writing on the wall and the guy is having a harder time kicking, we don't want to say you have to retire, but we need to move off because maybe your 40 time isn't what we need anymore, and I don't know, the guy did make kicks, made tackles for us. You guys know I like Robbie Gould a whole lot. One of my favorite players on the Niners. But just for you to come out now and say, well, they didn't offer me a contract. Are you saying that because, again, no one signed you yet? Or are you saying that because, what is it? What's your thoughts, David? right? Why would you bring it up?
Oh, I mean, he's saying he said that the Niners didn't offer him a contract, and now I read a story just like right before I hopped on that says I would have loved to play for the 49ers again. So it's like,
No
where are
duh.
you at? And what are you know? Maybe he's at that midlife crisis part of his life, and he just doesn't know what to say. You know, maybe. But at this point, you know, he has been staying in a hotel room during the season, and you know, being away from your family, that's just no fun. So, you know, when it comes to us, I honestly believe the reason we moved off of him is because we have to save money in places. Look at the team we have. Look at the stars we're trying to retain. You know, and some things have to go. Like, you know, Robbie Gold, unfortunately, was sacrificed due to money. Now we got Jake Moody, and we'll have him for 4 years, you know, on a cheap deal. Next year, I honestly believe we'll see the departure of Jude. I do. I see. Well,
I
he's getting up in
have an
age.
analogy for this this situation. Robbie Gold's like the guy who told the chick, "I don't want to be in a relationship." Fits, right? And then they're friends with benefits for a while, right? And she decides she's found somebody and she's gonna go. And then now all of a sudden that dude's like, damn, I really liked her. He complained about the hotel room the whole time. Didn't want, you know, like it was always, you know, didn't want to come back. Always just clawing the wall, coming through the door, and pulled in. Oh, now you want to come back? You know what I mean? Like it's just what it seems like to me.
Oh man, it does. It seems like, you know, now there's nothing to talk about. So now you're coming out. I mean, you could have said this stuff back in, you know, draft time. You could have said this, you know, free agency, you know, but no, now you're waiting until the start of almost preseason training. Just a
You
couple days
told
from
me
now.
you loved me bad. I went and found what I need somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, you know, I like it, you know, and you know, yeah, you're a great Niner and stuff like that, but now it's time. Now it's time to move on, you know, and there's teams out there that could sign you, and it's up to what you want to. Right on, let's go, let's go.
Ted,
Yeah,
make sure you go subscribe to 49er or Niner Faithful Radio. Make sure you go subscribe,
appreciate you
Ted.
guys. Yeah, Ted.
I already subscribed.
Ted Talks Ball. He's another one. If you guys don't know about him, Jason and your boy Niner Faithful, check these guys out too, Ted. You might want to bring them on for a guest once or twice. They are very knowledgeable. They got a good thing going.
I was actually watching Ted stream last night for a minute, and he had a whole bunch of people. I recognized a few of them. I didn't recognize a few of them. You know, it's like there are so many 49er content creators. If you followed everybody, you'd be doing the no life thing, you know. And I try to do what I can.
Yeah. You know, sometimes, you know, you just want to get on and talk with people, and Ted definitely has that ability, and he also has the ability to talk with other people. And, you know, it's cool because you get to listen to other people you, like you just said, never heard of before. So, Ted, keep grinding. And, you know, everyone here, you know, appreciate you guys. So, Corey, what do you think? Is he just trying to make noise, or is he trying to make enough noise so maybe some team starts thinking of him again? Or is like, is that what's going on? Nobody's thinking of him. Does he need to get a new agent?
Like I said, it's time for him to move on. It's time. He needs to go out there and shop himself out now because the Niners ain't going back for him. So it's time to move on.
I don't even know why you talk about it.
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
Like,
The only reason he would be talking about it, right, is because no one else is talking about him and he still isn't signed. So this to me seems like it's kind of like a plea or, like a cry for help. Like, hey guys, I'm still out here and I'm available, like you let your agent do this talking. You don't have to come out. This is just putting shade on the Niners and they didn't even offer me anything. Again, what did your agent go and ask for?
you need to
You
be
know?
talking about how you're in game shape and what you did in the off season to get your body healthy, better, all that and above. That's what he should be saying right now. He shouldn't be sour grape it. I just feel that you need to look forward in this situation. You can always go back later and talk about this, and it's probably best because with time also comes clarity on some issues. You know what I mean? Also, it gets like when I get when I get mad and feel about the same stuff that I don't want to say, I think about everything I was trying to say, figure out how I want to approach it when I go back to talk to them. It's not like I got to turn tail and run, but I got to make sure I'm saying it a way where they're receptive. And what he's doing here, it's not receptive to anybody. So what if more years and more light on the subject might make it so he totally understands the situation and isn't even bothered by it. I had an ex that cheated on me. Then we broke up, and then she ended up dating that guy, right? So, years down the road, I had both of them as friends on Facebook, and she was talking about how he was working, like 12-hour shifts, and he would come home and he would take over for her so she could get a little break, and then you know what I mean? And then she'd handle the dinner and whatnot. And I said, well, you're going to take care of your man then? You know what I mean? Like you got to hook him up. If he going to be doing all this stuff for you, got to make sure you're curling his toes. So over the years of my life, I was able to set aside all that anger and really just be like, whatever. You guys should have been together anyways. You know what I mean? Like you guys stayed together. We were together for like a year and a half, right? But they were together, they're probably still together. You know what I mean? So it wasn't with my girl, it's that they had each other yet. And I just be bigger than the situation and move on. And this is what he's lacking.
Well, real quick, let's say hey to David Corona and thank you very
David
much.
Corona.
We got a first time. Hopefully you come back again. We definitely appreciate you jumping in. This is Jason, your boy Niner Faithful. And
what's cracking, everybody? Just thought I'd hop in and say I appreciate the love, bro. Definitely appreciate the love. Wifey gave me like 5 minutes before I got to go back to the honey to-do list. But
yeah, no,
I just wanted to. The Robbie news came out after we had already done our show, so we never really haven't got to talk about it. I'm shocked they didn't give Robbie a contract. This obviously has to do with the cap situation we're going to be in next year. Like everybody keeps talking about how Harbaugh pumps him up. I mean, Harbaugh would have you think Kyle freaking Williams was the greatest receiver ever. That's what Harbaugh does. He pumps him up. And
why'd you say that name?
I said, trust
my
me,
Saturday's fucked.
Bro, you don't even know. Jason would if Jason was on here, he'd be like, "Don't get him started. Y'all are gonna lose your show." I mean, I'm not a violent person, but honestly, I think I'd fire on Kyle Williams if I saw him, bro. Like,
bro.
To me, I honestly thought we had a better chance.
I'd want to do it with my hands
against the Ravens, but I like Jake Moody.
I think we got screwed on that. I think we got screwed.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and Navarro Bowman, when he went and retired a Niner and all that, he talked about how he has a picture of him blown up in Seattle, of him having a football in his arms with his knee on the ground, in the NFC Championship, and that to me is probably the biggest non-call I've ever ever seen. I don't understand how you do not call that a fumble recovery. But anyway,
Oh, we're going
Moody-
to get into that. You will have to come back with some more time, and we're going to talk about the 2014 NFC Championship rigged game. We'll get more into that. But let's hear your thoughts again on the Robbie Gould stuff.
Yeah. So, I think it was time in the sense, let's be real. Robbie's been kind of a prima donna. We don't want to say it because we love him, good as gold, all that. But, my whole attitude, I said this about Debo, and I was just – if I brought my wife into the room right now, she would tell you how I was literally on the ground crying when I thought Debo tore his knee last year. Against I don't even remember who it was against, but when he got hurt and missed the last couple, I thought his knee was done, and I was literally on the ground crying. I love Debo. Debo's one of my favorite players on the team. But I said, look, Debo, you don't want to be here. You don't want to be living in California. You don't want to be a part of an organization that has fan base that takes over stadiums. Not like, oh, you guys are, we take over. We were there in LA and at the end of 2021, the last game. We took over LA. You don't want to be a part of that? God bless you, brother. Good luck ending the Cry Girls curse or, whatever you're going to go. I say the same for now. My opinions changed with Robbie because you can't sign a contract that you weren't offered. And that's my curiosity of where did that come from? You have a man who's never missed a kick in the playoffs. But I'll let y'all go after this. But Jason and I, when we had kind of gotten the hint that Robbie wasn't going to come back, said this, that maybe they don't think field goals are going to be as important part of the game. We all saw that the offense looked different. Doesn't matter what any of our opinions are. Kyle told you how he felt about Brock Purdy. Because I'm pretty sure we've all watched every snap of the Kyle Shanahan era. That was a different offense when Brock Purdy was – when we were in Vegas last year, that was a different offense. We hadn't seen that offense from the Niners under Kyle Shanahan. So that's my thing is that when you are looking at the situation and you know what? If we only kick an average of one field goal every 2 games or whatever it is, how important is the kicker really? I think what we're slowly starting to see is this offense transition to where we're not, kicking 5 field goals a game and everything, that we're going to be scoring touchdowns in the red zone. And ultimately, I'll ask y'all this. Would you rather keep Eric Armstead, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, players like that, or have Robbie Gould? That's just what it breaks down to. Defoe. Love Defoe. Honestly, that was probably one of the hardest Niners I had to watch out because he was everything you wanted both on the field and off the field. And he was homegrown. But at the end of the day, you want Eric Armstead, you want Jimmy Ward, you want to, keep Fred Warner because Fred Warner was coming up on his new deal soon. You want to keep George Kittle. We had to let go of Defoe. This is one of the cities. You want to sign Javon Hargrave, which to me is one of the best off-season moves that any team has made, not only because we got the best D tackle, but also we took him from our number 1 threat in the NFC. I think Javon Hargrave is on our team last year. That NFC Championship game is totally different.
Wow.
So just want to say thank y'all so much for the love and support. Y'all were right. We're on every Tuesday, 4:30 here on the West Coast. We got pregame shows and all that during the season. We will be going live either July 31st. I got invited to the VIP booth by the Niners, so that's pretty dope. We might do a show from there. Or Tuesday, we were going live from training camp. Jason and I will be doing a show like there. Appreciate the love. Y'all hit me up on Facebook, Twitter. We're on all that, and we would love to have any of y'all on the show. Any faithful, anybody who's a real Niner fan is always welcome on NFR. Brian, we're going to get you on within the next couple of weeks, bro. I promise.
Oh, you do it, and appreciate you coming on. But before you go,
yes, sir.
Jason's the other one, and I know his favorite. What is your name?
TJ.
TJ.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it'll be TJ McKinney. Yeah, my bad. Everybody always asks me. Yeah, it's TJ McKinney. Go ahead and look me up on Facebook. NFR. I don't have a personal Twitter, but Niner Faithful Radio's Twitter. Most likely it'll be Jason you speak to because he runs our social media. I ain't got time for all that. But yeah, go ahead and hit me up. Love to have any of y'all on the show. Definitely. Thank y'all for having me on. Go Niners.
All right, man. We'll see you next time.
So
Go Niners, man.
Eric, make sure to go follow Niner Faithful Radio. check them out. I know Eric is in the chat. I want to make sure.
Yeah, that was him, and they got a good show. Hopefully, we can get Jason in here sometime. And they popped into the show a couple times. I've seen them in other streams, and they're just like us. They Niner collaborators, Niner guys. They go to training camp. They go to, and they read, they write, they do all kinds of stuff. So if you guys are ever interested in checking them out, they're a lot of fun, and anybody who goes and I'm sure they appreciate it. And thank you, Bebop.
Ooh, Ted.
Here you go. I'm gonna put it up for you. His name is.
No, I just read Tommy's comment. That's what I was saying, Dan, about.
Oh, yeah.
This is the name of their channel, Niner Faithful Radio.
Oh,
If you can sub, they had 130, I think, the other day. So if anybody can go give them some love, let's get them up, as much as.
When I subbed, it was like at 123.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So definitely go give them some support. They every Tuesday 4:30. So
I'll be back. I got a phone call. I'll be back.
All right.
Hey, wait for a sec. Oh, I just wanted to make him wait for a second for no reason. I thought that was going to be hilarious.
But yeah, guys.
Maybe I shouldn't. His wife's in the hospital.
Yeah, hopefully she's gonna have a speedy recovery.
Yes,
and
hopefully
everything went right. Good.
Exactly.
So yeah, I think it's just that. I think
everybody-
they definitely had something that they were gonna say. Okay, if he's gonna come to us and ask for it in between here, let's roll. But if he's asking for something above this, then we're just gonna have to move off of him, because at first it sounded like there was mutual interest on both sides. He came out, said there was unfinished business, and the Niners, it sounded like they were, like, okay, let's do this. But I think Brian's right. I think the money was just a little bit too much. And if you're a good agent, you go over there and you try to get as much money for your player as possible, because they're going to give you a counter offer. And then you'll be like, all right, this is what they're offering. Maybe we can meet them in the middle. And I don't think that's what happened. I think the agent went up there and was like, they told me just to walk back out the door. They didn't give me nothing, Robbie. So
Robbie's trying to franchise tag himself.
So what are you guys talking about? You guys talking about the kickers?
we're talking
Who's
about
on
all
the phone
49ers.
call?
Oh, hell yeah.
Who's on the phone?
What happened?
Who was on the phone?
Oh, somebody's gonna bring me some food right now.
Oh, awesome.
Did you bring enough for the rest of everybody? Did you bring enough for everybody?
No, that's why I went out.
David.
Well, 3 days.
I cut it in four, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut it in 5, so everybody get a piece.
You're cutting your stuff?
Yeah.
Bro, I don't want no weak stuff. You're cutting it 5 times. Man.
Oh, guess you passed and you don't want it.
Yeah. I'll go to the next guy.
All right.
I'll give it to Corey or McNina or Brian then.
I don't want no filler. They don't want no filler neither.
I eat it all then by myself then.
Guys, there's 3 more days until training camp.
Oh man, I can't wait.
A lot more to talk about. A lot of good news. It won't be just, silly speculation and, but it's always speculation, right? We're always hoping and, speculating and forming opinions, but it'll be a little bit more substantial, right? We'll have something more to go off of, right? So before we get out of here, guys, who are you excited about? 3 days from training camp. Is there anybody new that's popped into your head, or is it just same old quarterback battle? I'd like to see what's going on with Elijah Mitchell. I want to see what's going on with the kicker, of course. I think the kicker battle is going to be a lot of fun to watch. What do you think, David Corona? Who do you want to see?
I want to see how that new guy, the new tight end we got from the Alabama, I want to see how he does in the training camp. So I'm glad we picked him up in the draft.
I'm
So
excited
yeah,
for
I'm pretty.
both our tight ends.
Yeah,
Both
all
these guys.
our tight ends actually. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the training camp. I'm just waiting for the season actually. Yep.
What about you, Mick Niner? Is there somebody that you're in particular about that you'd like to see?
There's a position group I want to watch, and that's the O line.
Oh yeah.
You know, we got a guy that was redshirted that we never got to see, Nick Zakel. You know, we got Jason Poe, who's short, thick, and has a low center of gravity. Who in the center of that line, in guard or center, you know that he's gonna be wrecking fools. I would even keep him on the roster and bring him in as the 6 O lineman and the jumbo packages. You know. But
Or
you know, we
second
got
fullback.
Feliciano who's going to make D linemen sleep with the fishes. You know, you got there are so many question marks. You know, we know who supposedly the 5 starters are, but is McKivitz going to get pushed out by another player? You know, this is all stuff we don't know. There are definitely guys that more than likely aren't going to make the squad. Shout out to Jalen Moore.
Mr. Corey Davis, is there a position group? Is there a player? Is there a coach? What are you most excited about for training camp?
I'm just ready for all of it to start. I just want to see all the players. I want to see everybody. But I'm looking forward to seeing CMC for a whole season. And I'm looking for, you know what? I'm looking for Mason. Hopefully he gets his bag this season.
How many wide receivers do we keep, Corey?
We're keeping 6.
6. You guys want to give me your guys' prediction real quick before we get out of here? We'll start with you, Corey. All right, Ryan. I'll tell you mine. I think we keep Ayuk, Debo, Jennings,
Yeah.
Ray. We're keeping Danny Gray and Ronnie Bell. That's my 6.
Oh yeah.
I know there's a couple that we might lose that are really good there. What is it? His name is Watt. And there's the other guy from the Arena Football. I think that's the guy I'm talking about. But I think that's our 6 that we keep. Anybody disagree or have a opinion?
That's the same 6 I have.
Yep.
So
Yep.
It depends, because it depends. It depends on who's gonna be at quarterback. The right? He's got speed. He's crazy with the legs, right? Move around. He doesn't need to have height. He can have a bomb thrown over his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Danny Gray. Like, there'll be no question that Danny Gray makes the team if a certain guy is the quarterback. Because that's the reason why he was drafted to this team. So there's certain things that could change the look of the wide receiver room. I think that isn't in the wide receiver room. Like, there's other things that impact the wide receiver room that isn't in the wide receiver room. And I think it could change, you know, 2 spots, 2 to 3 spots, depending on what people show.
I just don't think they get off of Gray at this point, even if they switch quarterbacks or the quarterback doesn't come in there, because he's a rookie. He's like, what, 3-year, 4-year contract rookie? He's been on our team 2 years now or 1 year. So I don't see them moving off of him just yet. I see them giving him at least another year. But Bell, I think Ray, Gray, and Bell have similar sets. You know, Gray's our deep threat here, but Ray and Bell, they both do similar things. Somewhat like Debo, but Debo's Debo. He's aggressive. You know, he's going to run right through you. Where these two other guys, they're going to be tricky. Jennings is that third down guy, and then we have Ayuk with probably the best hands on the team, or at least for the wide receivers at this time. So I would like to see this group. Real quick, good morning, John Jay. How are you doing? And start you out with your first question. What are you most excited about for training camp? Any position groups? Anything out there at all that you would like to touch on?
Yep. Morning, everybody. I woke up just a little while ago. It was a fun stream last night. No Borders. But
Good morning, man.
JJ coming on.
to the question, I want to see the offensive line. Like I know I sound like a broken record. Of course, we have Williams. I want to see what Burford and Banks can do in their second year. I have questions on our center, and I want to see what Colton McKivitz can do. So that's an area that I'm looking forward to see in training camp and this season.
Awesome.
Yeah, you never asked me. You just went to a different question, Bryant.
Well, when I first asked
But I'll
the question,
piggyback off everybody.
you jumped in. You jumped in, and then I went around. So all right,
jumped on.
Who are you?
I jumped on.
Who are you most excited to see? What's your thoughts on training camp? Is there a particular player or a coach? And let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, there's Braden Willis. That's my guy. But Ronnie Bell is another one. That's like, I think there's some things there that we can. I think he might be a great player. He might not be like a top 10, but like I think he could be better than Juwan Jennings. His final form, I think, might be better than Juwan Jennings as far as getting the yards. I as a beast as Juwan Jennings as far as imposing his will on people. You know what I mean? That's one thing I love about Juwan. It's like when you're a wrestler, you know what I mean? Like that's one thing I loved about wrestling. You could your skill is really the big deciding factor in what gets you a win or not in wrestling, right? But sometimes when the skill is matched, it's just brute strength, and you just have to muscle something. And when I see him blocking people and just having his will with them, I just think back to those times in wrestling when you got a man on the blocks and you're about ready to turn him over and you look him straight in his eyes as you throw him over on his back. You know what I mean? Like, it just reminds me of that. So that's one thing I'm going to miss. But I think Ronnie Bell is going to be even more of an offensive weapon than Juwan Jennings is.
I like that. I really like Ronnie Bell too. And it's just weird. We get in players from coaches that used to coach for us, and it's also weird we're getting multiple players from colleges to come in and become teammates, continue to become teammates. So like Jake Moody and Ronnie Bell, they probably didn't have lockers next to each other, but at least they got a face that they recognize. So I don't know if they're camp buddies or like when you get drafted, or you go into the Army, you can sign up for a buddy list. But
battle buddy, you got a battle buddy.
Yeah, that's a good point. So, what's you guys' thoughts? I mean, 3 days away. Really quickly, has anybody been able to go see the Ray Lawrence Platform 246 put it out there, his song. If you haven't heard it and you want to chuckle, check out Ray's song. If you're doing something that you love, keep doing it. But if you don't like it, don't listen to it, right? So to each their own, right? But guys, it's been a great show. We've went just a little bit over an hour. Got a lot of great people watching. Please, everybody, hit the like, subscribe, share. We'll be doing this again here real soon. I'm gonna go ahead and end the show. Let's go ahead and go around real quick. Everybody, what you got going on for the day? I think Corey, let's start with you. You got a show today, don't you?
Yes, this evening I'm doing a makeup show. So at 7, if you haven't finished your quiz, your trivia, please come.
Yeah, Ryan.
Bro, my shitty connection. Man, I don't even know. I don't even know how we
Chicken's
got through a
internet,
show
buddy.
last
That's
night.
the.
I'm
Bro,
just playing with
I
you.
don't know how we got through a show last night.
All right.
It's tonight at 7. I'm doing the makeup, so I don't see Crazy Juice in here. Crazy Juice, if you see this afterwards, please come tonight
Yeah, crazy.
so you can do yours.
I got Crazy Juice on Instagram. I'll send him a DM.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
And then tomorrow's the results show. And John Jay,
Yep.
when after Brian you finish, could you stay on for a second?
All right.
All right. So David and me are going to be doing some stuff on Mondays with the new panel. And I think you guys have all heard about it. We're going to be doing some stuff with Aaron and Ty Austin. So be checking that out. It's going to be a little bit like the NWO, but just a little different as well because it's not NWO. If that show ever comes, it's not. It's definitely not.
It's not. Yeah.
Aaron reached out to me and David, and we thought about Ty, and we're going to try to do something, Mondays. It's going to be a little bit after 5 o'clock on the West Coast. As close to 5 as possible. I got a couple minutes that it takes me to get home, so we're going to be probably pushing for like 5:15 or 5:30, 8:30, East Coast time. And it's a lot of fun. So we're looking forward to that. And then me and David are still going to try to do our interview show, but we got to figure out what the best day is. We're possibly throwing it out there, maybe a evening Wednesday, a later night on Wednesday, but we just got to talk about it. And same thing, football season's coming. So I don't know about streaming on Sunday mornings because we all want to be able to see football. And I like to be able to take care of my stuff on the morning before the game. So
You guys have a good day. I gotta go.
All right, buddy.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Everyone have a great
All
day,
right.
buddy.
Have a good
Yeah,
day.
you too, man. Late.
But there's going to be things that's coming and changing to the channel, and definitely look out for the notifications. But with this, I'm happy to plug or introduce David McNiner will be pushing his channel out because with the rotation on Mondays, David will be streaming on his channel, and you'll have to be subscribed to David, Ty's channel, my channel, and Aaron's channel to be able to see the episodes. So I'm really happy about that. Mr. Corey Davis, we got to you. Let's go to John, and then we'll hand it back up to Ryan, and we'll finish the day. So what do you got going on, John? Oh, can't give that. So sorry. David, why don't you go ahead and finish up what I have not been able to say?
Well, I literally just hooked my StreamYard to my YouTube channel on Thursday, and I'm going through literally watching the creators of StreamYard. I'm watching a bunch of videos, just educating myself and fully how to use it before I use it. So that's what I'm currently working on. But yeah, Monday night we got Niners Coast to Coast with Aaron and Ty and Bryant. That's going to be awesome. And I think we are pushing for 5:15 to 5:30 on Pacific Standard Time because we do want to give Bryant time to get home. And I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be great. Then we got we got Corey Davis, the makeup trivia stream. Folks, if you're playing trivia, pull up. You don't even have to be in the stream. You can be in the chat.
And it should go a little quicker than the other ones, and we'll get into our bullshit like we always do.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all I got going on. Once I got StreamYard figured out, I'm making a video and I'm going to release it. It's not going to be very long, but it'd just be my first video ever. So
looking forward to seeing it maybe today.
Yep.
All right.
Probably tonight because I got to go do some maintenance work on my mom's car and one of the swamp coolers that the pads are full of dirt. Shout out to my neighbor and his construction project.
All right. Well, guys, definitely, if you're not subscribed, David McNiner's channel is just like it's red right there. Type in David McNiner. You'll be able to pop and see his channel. He's got some subs. Let's help him grow as well. And turn the notification bell on so you can be there when his first video drops.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Mr. John Jay, what's your thoughts? What do you got going on for the weekend?
Well, so I'm gonna start doing some regular streams on my channel once the preseason starts again. My work schedule is getting a little bit more lighter, but it will be probably in the evenings. Working on my other channel. I'm not sure if I'm doing something tonight, but I think something might pop up at last minute. So I won't be on Corey's stream tonight, maybe even tomorrow. So I'll let Corey know on Instagram. And I'm gonna be busy next couple of weeks, so I'm not sure what I'm doing on my platforms, but I'll keep everybody posted. Thanks for having me on.
Oh yeah, man, always. Yeah, everybody just keep your notifications on for John, and check the community tab and stuff. And John's got a great channel. Please go and check him out and support him. Mr. Ryan, what do you got going on? I know what you potentially are going on Corey's channel tonight.
Corey?
Yes.
Oh, is it me? I thought I was last. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was
you're last.
making sure I got my notification bell on. No, I'm going on Corey's tonight. I think I'm gonna actually do what I was gonna do last week and actually create some content this week or today. So there might be videos out this week in short form. So look for that. I got a new video editing software that I'm using, and I need to get that all figured out. So that's what I'm working on essentially. But yeah, other than that, I'll be on Corey's show. Be waiting for David McNiner's show. Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. It's been fun. Appreciate you coming. Always go Niners, and we'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow, and we'll be keeping you updated with the changes of the channel coming soon. So with that, guys, have a good Saturday. Stay cool. It's hot everywhere, and yeah, go Niners.
Peace.
Go Niners.
Go Niners and F the Lance.
Go
F
Niners.
the Lamb.
F all the other teams.